Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pop Culture Blabber YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. So obviously today we're going to be talking about the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial. Week 6, the trial is now over. The case has been handed over to the jury, and right now we are on jury watch. So basically, the jury has so today is Saturday, May 28th. They have today, they have tomorrow, and they have Monday off. So they won't be back into the court to deliberate or to continue deliberations, because they technically started it yesterday. They won't be back till Tuesday, May 31st. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to take that long. I think by the end of next week, I think we will have the verdict. I don't see the jury being out for like weeks or even a week, So yeah, so that's what we're doing. So the first thing I wanted to do, so I'm actually going to be watching full testimonies here and just kind of reacting, with you guys, and hopefully you guys will watch with me and we can react together. And so yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on full testimonies. I'm going to react to them, because what I have, I obviously work full time. I'm busy during the week, so I have obviously seen clips and all that stuff, but I have not watched everything in full. So I have a few things that I do want to watch in full because I feel like they are important. Yeah, very important, to this case. So the first one that I want to play is I want to play the testimony from Kate Moss. Now, the only reason that Kate Moss was even allowed to come in to testify, this was like a last minute thing. The only reason she was allowed to come in was because Amber Heard herself mentioned her on the stand. If she had not mentioned her name, Kate Moss, or that situation on the stand, they would not have been able to bring her in. But Kate Moss came in. She was via video. It's quite brief. It's a quite brief, testimony, but yeah, so I'm going to play that first and then we'll react to that. And let's see here. So, okay. And also, I did want to tell you guys, so the videos that I pulled for today, I did get them from I want to give them a shout out, the Law and Crime channel, their YouTube channel, Law and Crime. They're really good. I like their videos of the courtroom a bit better than I like others because they do show you multiple angles. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I like that, and I think that gives us more context. You can definitely see like how other people are reacting, whether it's through faces they might make or body language or whatever. So yeah, so that's why I pulled those videos, and that's the videos that we'll be watching today are from, again, the Law and Crime YouTube channel. Check them out. So all right, so the first testimony I want to watch with you guys is the Kate Moss testimony. So again, it was brief. It was through a live video call. So let's watch that and then we'll react to it. So I do also want to let you guys know really quick. I'm sorry. Let me make myself a little bigger here. So I do want to let you guys know that I may go on Avatar sometimes. I may go on mute sometimes. I am here. I mean, you guys know these testimonies on a lot of these videos are very long. So if I go on Avatar, or on mute or whatever, I am here. Don't worry. I'll let you know if I need to step away for a second or anything like that. Okay, so again, Kate Moss's testimony. Let's get into it.
Afternoon, your time. My name is Ben Chu from the firm of Brown Rudnick. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Kate Moss.
Ms. Moss, where do you reside?
London, England.
From where are you testifying today, Ms. Moss?
Gloucestershire, England.
Ms. Moss, do you know Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Mr. Depp?
I had a relationship with him.
Did there come a time when you and Mr. Depp had a romantic relationship?
Yes.
For how long, Ms. Moss, were you and Mr. Depp a romantic couple?
From 1993 to 1994 to 1998.
Ms. Moss, did there come a time when you, while you and Mr. Depp were a couple, that the two of you took a vacation together to the Golden Eye Resort in Jamaica?
Yes.
What, if anything, happened when you were in Jamaica with Mr. Depp?
We were leaving the room, and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm, and as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back.
How did you...
And
I apologize, Ms. Moss. Please continue.
And I screamed because I was because I didn't know what had happened to me, and I was in pain. And he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Did Mr. Depp push you in any way down the stairs?
No.
During the course of your relationship, did he ever push you down any stairs?
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Ms. Moss, have you ever before today testified in any kind of court proceeding?
No, I have never.
Why did you decide to testify today?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right.
That's beyond the scope of what we just talked about.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. We have nothing further at this time. We greatly appreciate your taking the time to testify.
All right. Any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You're free to go. Thank you, Ms.
All right. So that was Kate Moss's testimony. Again, like I said in the beginning, very short, very, very short via, video. Very to the point, I thought. I mean, I honestly didn't think anything else really needed to be said. She said what she needed to say, very straight to the point. There wasn't, like the playing around you do sometimes with witnesses where you ask different questions to kind of lead them into different things. There wasn't any of that. This was very straightforward. She knew her assignment. They knew what she was coming in there to do. She was coming in to confirm this story. And that's what she did. So that was awesome. That was actually really, really great. I really like that. I really like that testimony. And I also really like the fact that, and I think it says a lot about Johnny, the fact that they dated from, I think she said 1994 to 1998. The fact that she is willing, because she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to. She wasn't compelled to come and testify. The fact that she was willing to get on the video call and to do that testimony really should say a lot. To me, honestly, it says a lot. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. To me, it says a lot. Also, by the way, if you guys see smoke here, it's my diffuser. Yeah. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it in the chat. So the next testimony that I want to watch with you guys and react live is the former TMZ employee. His name is Morgan Tremaine. He worked for TMZ formerly. And TMZ actually tried to have his testimony blocked completely. Like they did not want him there, period. But they just weren't able to do it. The judge actually, I was gonna play that, but then I was like, yeah, that's just too long and it takes too much time and it's just, yeah, no. So Morgan Tremaine, he's testifying, ex-TMZ employee. Like I said, I have seen clips, obviously, but again, I'm busy like we all are throughout the week. So I have not watched this entire testimony as a whole. So that's what we are going to do now. So I am going to share my screen. And again, this is Morgan Tremaine from TMZ, and he is, yeah, so he's going to be testifying. So I'm going to play his entire testimony. Again, I don't think this one is that long either. Again, it is from the Law and Crime channel. That's where I got all the videos for today. Again, I'm going to say it again because I want to give them a shout out. They're a great channel. I love their channel. They do good work there. I just like that they show you the multiple angles. Now, let me be clear. This is not like no one owns the rights to any of these videos. These are courtroom proceedings. You can't own the rights to them. No one owns the right to these videos. But I just like how they do the split screen of the multiple views because, there are multiple cameras within the courtroom. All right. So Morgan Tremaine, ex-TMZ employee. Let's watch his testimony. And yeah, let's react to it. Here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tremaine.
Hello,
Would you please state your full name for the record?
Morgan Cliff Tremaine.
And what do you do for a living?
I produce esports events and design video games.
And in 2016, what did you do for a living?
I worked as the field assignment manager at TMZ.
What is TMZ?
TMZ is an entertainment news website and television show.
And what were your responsibilities as a field assignment manager for TMZ?
I was the go-between the news desk in the office and the reporters in the field, which you might know as paparazzi.
Approximately how many paparazzis were you in charge of?
At the time, it was about 20 in LA, a handful, maybe 3 in New York, and then 1 in DC.
And what were your responsibilities specifically as to the paparazzi?
It would be to dispatch paparazzi to various locations based on tips or just direction dictated by having a list of sort of hotspots where celebrities would be.
And how were those tips received?
They were received either through tips that we received through our tip line or directly through news producers in the office.
And were tips frequently received directly from sources?
Very often the case, yeah.
And who were the type of sources that TMZ
Sources,
received tips
aka
from?
celebrities.
They would receive tips from, oftentimes it would be publicists, managers, agents, or B-list celebrities.
Lawyers?
B-list
And lawyers,
celebrities.
definitely.
How are tips verified?
You can tell this guy
Tips are
is
verified
coming in with
by an extensive process. If they come in
feistiness.
through our tip line,
I like it though.
we have to verify who sent it, that the source is truthful, and so they have to add their contact information, which is a field in that on that website for like name, phone number, things like that.
And how long did that process typically take?
If we receive a tip through the tip line, it could take a while because that would need to be, if it was a tip, we would need to verify it. If it was media, such as photos or videos, that would need to be extensively verified to ensure that the person sending it is the copyright holder and that we would have the legal ability to air it and distribute it.
And while working for TMZ, were you involved in any assignments related to Ms. Heard?
I was.
What was the first time you recall working on an assignment related to Ms. Heard?
I believe it was May 27th, 2016.
And what was
Okay, guys, I'm just pausing that for a second because really quick, and I know this is whatever, but it's what we got to do on YouTube. But I forgot to say this in the beginning. Please, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Please smash that like button. It helps us. It helps out a lot. The algorithm is very difficult, especially with these kinds of videos. So anything you can do, share the link, whatever, tell your friends. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, just want to say that. All right, back to the testimony.
your role in that assignment?
For that, Ms. Heard was filing a restraining order at a courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So I dispatched camera people to that location.
Under what circumstances would you normally send paparazzi to a courthouse?
Only if we had been informed prior. It's not by any means a celebrity hotspot. We would only ever send people there if we had been tipped off that something was occurring and there was somebody present there.
And what footage was TMZ trying to capture at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
We were trying to capture Amber leaving the courthouse and an alleged bruise on the right side of her face.
Oh.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay and foundation.
What were they supposed to do?
Right. She's asking for, I don't think there's a foundational
I'll
hearsay.
overrule the objection at this point. We'll see.
Go ahead, Mr. Tremaine.
Can you state the question again?
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Did your team of videographers get the shot of Amber Heard?
We did.
What is the difference between receiving a tip from a news producer and any other source?
If it's any other source, it would have to be verified by copyright. If it was anything that was received directly through a news producer, then they go through that process to verify the source.
Did you do anything to verify the tip on May 27th, 2016 related to Amber Heard?
I did not,
Why not?
because it had come directly from a news producer.
Does that mean it had been verified?
It means that they had verified that tip and deemed that it was credible, and therefore a camera person needed to be dispatched.
After May 27th, 2016, were you involved in any other assignments related to Amber Heard?
Yes.
Can you tell me about those assignments?
The next one would have been August 6th, 2016, where she was giving a deposition.
So what did you do in relation to that tip?
I dispatched camera people to a parking lot adjacent to a law office in which she would be arriving to, so we could get the footage of her arriving for the deposition.
Do you typically send paparazzis to parking lots of law offices?
No, not at all.
I mean, he's not really telling
Did
us
you get the
anything
shot
that
of
we
Ms.
don't
Heard
know.
on
We all
August
know
6th,
this about
2016?
We
TMZ
do.
and all those gossip.
After August 6th,
Places.
2016, were you involved in any other stories involving Ms. Heard?
Yes, I was.
And what story was that?
On the 12th, we received a video.
All right. So that first part is now over. So let me actually close that, and then I will share part 2 with you guys, and then we can go from there. All right. So again, this is Morgan Tremaine, an ex-TMZ employee. And yeah, he is testifying, and we're reacting to his full testimony. So I did see that he definitely got spicy with Elaine. And I think that's going to be in this part right here that we're going to watch right now. So yeah, let's keep going.
We did.
After August 6th, 2016, were you involved in any other stories involving Ms. Heard?
Yes, I was.
And what story was that?
On the 12th, we received a video depicting Johnny Depp slamming some
video.
cabinets that was captured by Ms. Heard.
And what day was that?
I believe that was the August 12th
Of 2016?
of 2016, yes.
Can you describe to the jury how you received the video on August 12th, 2016?
Yes, the video was sent in through our email tip line, which is an email distribution that goes to all the producers and to myself as the field assignment manager, because it often included celebrity locations. It came in as I recall,
Objection, hearsay.
He's just describing how it came in.
I think he's about to reveal hearsay, Your Honor.
I'll overrule for now. We'll see where it goes.
Please continue.
Okay,
So
Elaine.
I received that email, and it included a link from some unknown Dropbox type public website in which it contained that
Objection,
video.
Your Honor, hearsay. He's about to describe what comes from the Dropbox.
Elaine
website.
keeps objecting
Surprised you said
because
he's. What's the
they're
link
afraid
from
of what he's going to
Dropbox?
say.
We'll see
They're
the
afraid
next
that
question.
he's
Go
going to
ahead, next
say, "Yeah, I got the video
So you received
from
a
Amber
link.
Heard."
What was
Amber Heard's
in that
people.
link?
In that link was the video of Johnny Depp smashing the cabinets.
And you received this video in your inbox, correct?
I did.
What did you do once you received that video?
We downloaded it. We alerted the web editor who was sitting next to me at the time. We downloaded it, and then were instructed by the news producer to do what we call slap bumpers and a bug on it, which is putting the dun 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 at the beginning and
Oh
end,
God!
and then putting a
Are they going to copyright
translucent
this
watermark
because of
over
the
it,
dun,
which
dun, dun?
indicates copyright ownership.
After you did that, was it posted?
It was posted, yes.
Where was it posted?
It was posted to tmz.com.
Did you do anything else
I mean,
related
he
to Amber
seems
Heard
like a
on
credible
August
witness
12,
to me.
2016?
Yes,
Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
received a tip that Amber Heard would be arriving at LAX, and so I dispatched camera people to film that exit, or her arrival to LAX rather.
And why did you do that?
I was instructed to.
How long does it take to post a story after media's been received by TMZ?
After media's been received, it could take any length of time depending on who owns the copyright.
How does TMZ obtain copyright over images and videos?
The only way to obtain copyright over media would
Ooh,
be
this
if
is
we
interesting.
shot it ourselves, if it was sent to the tip line, source verified that it was from the original copyright owner, and then either purchased from that person or given to us. And then the third option would be if it was directly given to us by the copyright holder, like a direct source.
And how long does it take to copyright something TMZ has received through the tip line?
It can take a while because you have to extensively verify that that person owns the copyright. And then possibly, it depends also if you can even get in contact with the person because they might not be super responsive immediately via phone or email that they provided. And then potentially you'd have to enter a negotiation with our clips and clearances department.
And this is
to,
why I got the
figure out
law
the
and
cost
crime
of
videos
that
this
media.
time because, again, I like that
How long
we
does it take
see
for
multiple-
TMZ to
the
obtain a
multiple
copyright
angles.
over something received directly from a source?
Something in the realm of 15 minutes just to do what I described before, which is putting bumpers and a bug on something and write the article and post it. It's pretty fast.
How much time had passed from the time you received the kitchen cabinet video to the time it was posted on TMZ?
About 15 minutes.
Did any other
How about
tabloids
15
other than
minutes?
TMZ
Wow.
post this video?
Objection
No, they-
leading and cause for hearsay.
Did any other?
Okay,
No,
Elaine.
Overrule.
The hell?
Mr. Tremaine, go ahead.
No, they did not.
And why not?
Because it was a TMZ exclusive.
And what does that mean?
It means the TMZ owns the copyright to it. So it can't be distributed by any other media source without backlinking to TMZ. And they wouldn't be able to upload that media without getting a copyright strike.
Have you seen the kitchen cabinet video that was played in this trial?
I have, yes.
How does that video that was played in this trial compare to the one you received on August 12, 2016?
When I had clicked the direct link that we received and watched the video in its entirety, it was much shorter than the video we had received, than the video that's been played in this trial. There was a bit at the beginning that was played here in which Ms. Heard is seemingly sort of setting up the camera and getting into position. And then there's a bit at the end where she's seemingly snickering and looks at the camera. That part was not present in what we received.
Did TMZ edit the video?
No, not even a little. When we receive something and it's edited, there's a clear indicator because there's sort of a journalistic practice that uses when there's an edit, you do what's called like a white flash transition, which covers the entire screen with white to very clearly indicate to everybody there was an edit here for time or whatever, just to make it a little more compelling. But in this case, it was not edited as I was staring at the machine that edited it and present for the entirety of receipt to publishing.
Look at Amber.
When was the
Look at
next time
Amber.
you
Oh
worked
my
on an
God.
assignment related to Amber Heard?
It was, well, there was the time where we went to the airport. And then the day after that, because she had flown in for the deposition, because I think the first time didn't work out. So she was arriving again for the deposition in that same parking lot adjacent to a law office.
And what's that, August 13th, 2016?
That was August 13th, yeah.
And what was your assignment on August 13th, 2016?
To dispatch camera people to that parking lot at a specific time in order to film Amber Heard arriving for the deposition.
How did you know that tip
And
was
that's-
legitimate?
Yeah,
It
how
came
did you
from a
know
news
that?
producer.
It came from someone who knows.
While you worked at TMZ, did you ever receive any
Come on, it came from her
communications
camp.
from Mr.
All this
Depp or
stuff
his
came from
camp?
her camp.
I did not.
It's we all know
Nothing further,
that.
Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes. So
Oh, here we go. Cross-examination. Here goes
how do
Lane.
you know what video was shown at this trial?
I was alerted by a friend that that TMZ was being kind of talked about in this trial, and so I had seen a clip of that.
So you watched some of this trial?
Correct.
Okay. When did you first reach out to counsel for Mr. Depp?
I believe that was 6 days ago, whatever that date would be. I'd have to do that.
All right.
6 days
And
ago.
then
Okay.
you received a subpoena, I think yesterday, in care of your attorney, Cindy Hickox, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Cindy Hickox represents Christy Dombrowski, Kate James, Robin Baum. and
Objection,
Debbie
Your Honor.
Lloyd. Were you aware of
Calls for
that?
speculation.
Overruled.
Were you aware of that?
No.
Now, if you
Elaine
don't have
is- come on.
information that's helpful to this case, then you wouldn't be a witness, correct?
Objection, calls for
can't-
speculation.
Sustained, sustained. Next question.
I'm not aware.
Okay, you know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor, argumentative.
I can ask that question.
Overruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in a target of TMZ, a very litigious
Very true.
organization.
Yep.
And I'm not seeking.
They will
any
sue. They
15
will
minutes.
sue him. They will
Well, you
sue
may-
him.
You're welcome
They will
to
go after
speculate.
him.
I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
A little argumentative, don't you think?
Oh, hardly. I find that to be purely
A little
logical. Thank you.
Now, are you aware that Mr.
Probably
Depp's
can't.
attorneys were well aware of the TRO that was going to be presented on May 27th?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Were you aware of that?
Lack of foundation.
Overruled if you can answer it.
Can you restate the question?
Were you aware that Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys were aware that Amber Heard was going in to seek a TRO on May 27th?
I don't think I understand the question. I don't think so, no.
Okay.
kind of a
Do you
complicated
know whether Blair Burke, one of Mr. Depp's divorce attorneys, had a very close relationship with TMZ at that time?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
I can't with Elaine.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. And when you said that you were dispatched twice, once to film Amber in a parking lot for the deposition, and then it didn't work out, and so you had to do it another time. How did you know it didn't work out?
Because TMZ.com posted an article saying as much.
Okay.
And
Do you
I was
know-
not dispatched.
Do you
I
know
worked in the
why the deposition did not work out?
I'd have to reference the article, I forget.
So do you know?
I didn't write that story. I wasn't involved in the
Do
actual
you know
journalism of that.
which side? Do you know which side would have known or not known whether that deposition was going to work out? In other words, the people representing Mr. Depp.
Hi
and the
guys,
people representing
welcome,
Ms.
welcome, welcome,
That would-
welcome. Join the chat.
And then
And if
the
you would like,
video
the link is in the
clips.
chat. If you would like to join the
You
discussion on
don't
screen.
know who provided that, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Not testifying to
I have
that.
no further.
All right, redirect.
Mr. Tremaine, why did you contact me in relation to this case?
I saw that there was a discrepancy with like the video that was shown here and the video that I know I'd received. So I had no interest in testifying. I had reached out simply to maybe try to help with the timeline of things or help with the case in any way, just by virtue of understanding the timeline of the stories that were published and kind of how that can be unclear. But I had no idea I'd be on the stand.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, sir, you're free to go.
Thank
Thank you. All right. You have another witness? Okay.
Okay, we are done with that. So let me get back on here. All right. Okay, so that was Morgan Tremaine, a former TMZ employee. That was his full testimony and cross. I mean, when Elaine said that comment about the 15 minutes and then he came right back at her, oh my God, I was loving it. Loving it. To me, I thought he was a credible witness. I think he did good on the stand. I mean, it was pretty brief. And I mean, 20 minutes total, that's a bit of time, but it was brief. But I find him to be a credible witness. I really do. And I think he made a good point when he was like, I mean, he's putting himself pretty much in the line of fire of TMZ. I mean, TMZ was in court trying to block him from testifying just minutes before he took the stand. And the judge ruled against that and said, no, he can testify. But I mean, he is putting himself in the line of, some not so good things. So, all right, so let's continue. So this past week also, the final week of the trial, both Johnny and Amber took the stand again. And there were definitely fiery moments from both. The first thing I want to watch is Johnny, and this is part of his testimony. It is him talking about the Kate Moss thing and everything that happened there. So let me share my screen with you and then okay, sure. All right, cool. So I will move this so I can see it better. Oh no, I don't want that. Okay, cool. So that's there. All right. So now we can all see it. All right. So I'm going to play this. So this is Johnny responding to or talking about the Kate Moss thing. And again, I did get all the videos for today from the Law and Crime YouTube channel because I do like how they have multiple. I mean, look at this. They have multiple feeds and they show all of them. So I like that. So, all right, here we go. Let's watch this.
Thank you. We can take this down. Mr. Depp, do you recall Ms. Heard testifying that she punched you in the staircase incident because she thought of Kate Moss in the stairs?
Do I remember her saying that?
Yes.
Yes, I do. 3 times. Yes, I do.
Do you have any understanding as to what Ms. Heard was referring to?
Yes, I do.
Hi, guys. Welcome. There is a link in the chat if you would like to join the discussion on screen.
Kate Moss, Kate testified. It was many, many years ago. And what happened is what she said happened. I recall speaking with Ms. Heard about that very incident because of the downpouring of rain, because it was raining very heavily that day that Kate slipped. And I recalled the story to her.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
May we approach Your Honor?
Okay.
Oh, they're going to approach. That means we got quiet time coming. All right, let me see if I can fast forward through this a little bit. Okay, all right, here we go. Coming back.
Please continue, Mr.
And
Depp.
again,
What
this
did
is
you tell Ms. Heard about
Johnny
the
Depp
staircase?
talking about
Or
Kate
with
Moss.
Kate Moss.
I'll make it easy for Mr. Rottenborn.
I love it. I love the contention that like
Mr.
Johnny has with Rottenborn, how like they
took
just have
the
this
story.
like back and forth. It's fucking great.
And turned it into a very ugly incident, all in her mind. There was never.
Hello, everyone.
a
Welcome,
moment
welcome. Join the chat. Also, there's a link in
where
the
I
chat if
pushed
you would like to
Kate
join the
down
discussion
any set
on
of stairs.
screen.
Yet she's spewed this 3 times before.
Objection, Your Honor. Ms. Heard simply testified that she had heard a rumor, and that's
What's a
not
rumor?
responsive to the
No, that's
question.
not what she
Sir,
said, that she heard a
sorry.
rumor.
Objection.
No.
Overrule the
Ms.
objection.
States
Somebody
and
correct me if I'm
facts
wrong, but that's not what she
Overrule the
said.
objection.
No. Hold on a second. She did not say that she heard a rumor, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe when she testified, she said, all I could think about was Kate Moss and the stairs. She never said anything about her hearing that that was a rumor. Did she? I don't believe she did. But anyway, let's continue.
Sorry, I was drawn by Mr. Rottenborn's voice.
Yeah, and Mr. Rotten.
What was he like? Was it?
So what specifically had you actually told Miss Heard about the incident with Miss Moss and the stairs?
Very simply that we were in Jamaica. I had left our bungalow about 3 minutes prior to her. I was standing outside and suddenly rain starts just coming down like it's, a monsoon. And then I remember looking and seeing Kate coming out the door, and there were 3 little wooden stairs, and she slipped, her legs went up, and she landed directly on her coccyx and her lower back. So, and she was obviously physically in pain, and she was hurt, she was crying. So I ran over and
Yeah, I mean, he's just telling the story that that Kate Moss basically told.
That's it. That's all I ever. But that's the whole story. But then the rumor of it, I'd never heard a rumor of that before Miss Heard grabbed hold of it.
Interesting.
Like that. Sorry.
Mr. Depp, we heard testimony from Miss Heard's sister, Whitney, during this trial. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And how would you describe?
Okay, so that brings us to the next video that I want to share. So it's Johnny, he's still on the stand, and this time he is talking about Whitney, Amber's sister. So let me share that video with you guys. Let's see here. Okay, so let me move it over here so I can see it okay. No, we don't want that. That's great. Okay. All right. Welcome. Anybody that's new coming in, welcome. Please remember to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. Please smash that like button. It really helps. And also just join the chat. And if you would like to join the discussion on screen with me, click on the link and come on up and let's talk about this case and everything that's going on in it and what we think. All right, so this next video, Johnny is on the stand and he is talking about Whitney, Amber's sister. So let's watch this.
Whitney during this trial. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And how would you describe your relationship with Whitney when you were in a relationship with Miss Heard?
I liked Whitney very much. Initially, I mean, when I first met her, I liked her very much, and grew to love Whitney very much, because I always, it seemed Whitney, Amber's sister, Whitney seemed to always get the sort of dirty end of the stick, and I felt bad for her for that, because it wasn't new. It had been there for life, and that was seemed pretty obvious. So I took,
and again, I love
took to Whitney,
the Law and Crime channel, YouTube channel videos, because
very quickly
we get to see both.
She was a very sweet
we get to see both
kid.
feeds, so we
She
get
was
to see
wonderful.
Amber's face and her reactions.
What do you mean that
I like that.
Whitney got the dirty end of the stick?
It was a kind of a strange combination of
This is Johnny on the stand this past week.
Loving
He's talking
sister,
about Whitney, Amber's sister.
trusted
Look at Amber's face.
sister and friend, and then lackey, and then, you know, either the punching bag or the dartboard, or the recipient of some rather demeaning and ugly.
Hello, anyone new
Words.
that's come in,
Or
welcome. Join the
she would
chat,
have
and also
wine
you
thrown in
can.
her face.
There is a link that is
And
pinned to the
who
top
was
of the
the
chat
source
where you
of
can
those
click and join
demeaning
the
words
discussion with
and
me
the
on
wine that you
screen.
just referenced?
That would be
I'd
Amber,
love to have a
her
discussion
sister.
about this case and what everyone thinks.
And how do you know that?
Well, I witnessed quite a lot of it. The wine in the face was something that happened in New York, which I think that even made it into the papers. I believe that even made it into the papers. It was in an elevator.
How did you first learn about that incident?
Miss Hurd told me in detail.
What else did you observe of Miss Hurd and her sister Whitney's interactions during your relationship with Miss Hurd?
They were just constantly up and down, but I could sense.
Of course,
I
it
could
was always
feel
up and
that
down.
Whitney was trying to please her sister, trying to be up to snuff.
I definitely
And,
noticed that Johnny is more like he's speaking
it just seemed
a
like
little
she
bit
got shot
faster
down.
than he
Actually,
was
Your Honor, this is
when he
going
took
beyond
the
the
stand
scope
the
of the
first
question.
time.
And his foundation.
There's
knowledge
Ron
that-
Your Honor, I asked what he observed, between them. I think this is responsive to that.
And his testimony as to what Whitney felt is.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay. Did you ever see Miss Hurd physically attack Whitney?
No, I've never seen any full-on blowouts.
Well, that's a really
physical
honest
blowouts
answer,
between them.
I would say.
Tons of verbal
Objection
blowouts.
beyond the scope.
Oh my God, Rottenborn.
I've certainly seen Miss Hurd grab Whitney, push her around. There were a number. There were half a dozen times when some of us, whoever was in the general vicinity, would have to leave. This is at Orange, when Whitney and Amber were living at Orange. Whitney and her boyfriend at the time, Sean Krajewski, and we had to leave the apartment and
Why
wait
was
in
that?
the car while they fought.
And when you say fought, do you mean physically or?
Physical.
And when you said Miss Hurd would push Whitney around, do you mean that the physically push her or metaphorically?
Both.
You heard Whitney testify that she lived in Penthouse 4 at the Eastern Columbia building for a time, correct?
That is correct, yes.
How did Whitney come to live in Penthouse 4?
My recollection, when Whitney first came to stay at the Eastern Columbia building.
Must be so
Penthouse 4
uncomfortable
was
for Whitney
she
just to be
and
hearing
her
all. Look at Amber. She's
boyfriend,
so.
Sean, had broken up. And she needed a place to go. And so Amber asked if she could stay in Penthouse 4, and I said, well, of course, of course.
How long did Whitney live in Penthouse 4?
It was well over a year, on and off.
Did you ever ask Whitney to move out of Penthouse 4?
No, I did not, no.
Why did Whitney ultimately move out of Penthouse 4?
Objection, foundation.
It's his apartment, Your Honor. He was living there.
Oh, overrule.
Whitney moved out of Penthouse 4 long before the marriage. And it was due to an argument that Ms. Heard and Whitney had, which had to do with Whitney working at the Art of Elysium with Jennifer Howell and those people. And Amber asked her to leave, get out.
Where did Whitney live when she moved out of Penthouse 4?
My understanding is she went to live with Jennifer Howell.
Your Honor, I know you anticipated having a motion at noon.
You can keep going. That's
Okay.
fine. We can. How much longer in direct do you have?
I have a bit.
Okay, that's okay.
Mr. Depp, do you recall hearing testimony during Ms. Heard's case from Mr. Mandel?
Yes, I do.
And who is that?
Mr. Mandel is my former business manager of 17 and a half years, who at a certain point,
All right, so that video is done. So the next one that we are going to watch is also Johnny on the stand. And I believe this time he's talking about Amber's testimony and what it kind of, I guess, felt like to hear it or whatever. Again, I've only seen clips, bits and pieces during the week, because during the week it's crazy and busy. So I haven't seen this whole thing. So, all right, let me share my screen, share the video, and we will get into it. So it's Johnny talking about Amber's testimony. And let's move the video over here for me. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm still new to this streaming thing. Welcome. Please, post in the chat. Please make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you smash that like button. It really helps. And also, there is a link in the chat if you would like to join the discussion on screen. I would love to have a few of you come up where we can just have a discussion about this case and talk about it. Yeah. So anyway, so let's get into this video. So this is more of Johnny's testimony.
Mr. Depp, I'd like to take you back to exactly 6 years prior to this week, the week of May 21st through May 27th, 2016. What happened at the beginning of that week?
May 21st.
Excuse me, May 20th.
May 20th. We're talking 2016 here.
Yes.
May 20th.
I just like seeing, again, I like the law and crime
20th,
YouTube channel videos because you get to see
evening.
the split screen. You could see Amber's reaction while Johnny's testifying or vice versa, whatever. So I like that. That's why, again, I got them from the law and crime YouTube channel.
Made
Check them out.
her exit. She'd been fighting cancer numerous times and for many years, and she fought all the way to the end. And so my mother passed away on the 20th of May. I which does bring instant perspective into one's mind. I spoke to Amber that night. I called her on the telephone, explained to her that my mom had passed, Betty Sue had passed, and that I thought that the best thing we could do was to that I file for
Objection, Your Honor.
divorce.
Hearsay. What Mr. Depp told Ms. Heard.
We can move on, Your
Okay,
Honor.
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Depp, what happened at the end of that week on May 27th, 2016?
May 27th, my daughter's birthday. May 27th, I was not in Los Angeles. I was on the way to on tour, and that was when Miss Heard went for the restraining order. And oh yeah, also that was the day that Alice Through the Looking Glass, a film I'd done, was opening.
Did Ms. Heard know that you were out of town on May 27th?
Yes.
And how would she have known that?
Well, I told her I was going on tour. I mean, that was well established.
How long were you going to be out of town on that tour?
2 to 3 months.
And did Ms. Heard know how long you'd be out of town?
I don't know if she knew exactly how long I'd be out of town, but it was a pretty extensive tour of Europe.
How did Ms. Heard's actions on May 27th, 2016 affect you?
Changed everything.
Hello, welcome to anybody that's
Objection,
coming in
Your Honor.
new.
Oh, it didn't
Hi,
change everything.
Nikki.
Sorry.
Hi.
Sure, if you could wait till the objection, please.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Relevance.
Tourette's.
Your Honor, this is one of the key
If you want to
dates.
approach.
Looks like they're approaching, so we're going to have some silence. Oh no, they're coming back. Okay. They're coming back, yeah.
Mr. Depp, what has it been like for you to listen to Ms. Heard's testimony at
Here we
this
go. We're
trial?
going to talk about the
I'm sorry.
testimony.
What has it been like for you to listen to Ms. Heard's testimony at this trial?
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
Oh, overruled.
Insane. It's insane to hear heinous accusations of violence, sexual violence, that she's attributed to me, that she's accused me of.
It's sick.
I don't think
It's
anyone
sick. I can't even imagine how he feels. It's sick.
enjoys having to
Welcome,
split
anybody that's
themselves
new.
open.
Welcome.
and tell
There's
the
a link in the chat that you
truth.
can click to join the discussion on
But,
screen. I would love some of you guys to come up so we can
There are
talk about
times
this
when
case.
one just simply has to, because it's gotten out of control. It horrible.
When do I think there will be a verdict? Well, Nikki, so like I was saying earlier, the jurors are off today, they're off tomorrow, and they're off on Monday. So they don't come back until Tuesday. If I had to guess, I would say we're probably going to get a verdict Wednesday or Thursday. That would be my guess. What do you think?
Ridiculous, humiliating, ludicrous, painful, savage, unimaginably brutal, cruel.
Again, guys, there is a link that
And
is
all
pinned in the chat where
awful.
where you can click it and come up and have a discussion about this case.
I wanted.
And yes, Nikki, they are off Monday. It is Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I love Johnny, but I
no
don't
human
like
being
how
is perfect.
sometimes
Certainly
takes him
not.
a long time to get something out.
None of us. But I have never in my life committed sexual battery, physical abuse, all these outlandish, outrageous stories of me
I can't even
committing these
imagine.
things.
I can't imagine. It's crazy.
And living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to bring the truth out. So this is not easy for any of us. I know that. But
welcome
no
to
matter what
anybody
happens,
that's joining.
I did
Again,
get
there
here,
is a
and I
link
did
that
tell
is
the
pinned in
truth,
the chat. You
and
can
I
click it
have
and you can join me on screen. I would love to have a discussion with some of
spoken
you just regarding this case in general. So, yeah.
what I've been carrying on my back reluctantly for 6 years.
Thank you. No further questions.
All right.
No further
Take lunch at this
questions.
point? All right, just, okay. All right, let's do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take
All right, so
lunch
that
this time.
ends
Do not
at this
discuss this case with
point.
anybody and don't do any outside.
Let me see here. So we're going to stop that. Okay. So the next video that I want to watch. Well, first of all, Nikki, I just want to say thank you so much for even stating that. And yes, I mean, that's pretty much been the consensus that I've been seeing is a lot of people are very angry. And they're very angry and they're really not happy with Amber Heard. A lot of survivors are I mean, again, that's the consensus I'm seeing online and just people that I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people about this case. And yeah, people are mad. People are mad because I mean, it's just sick. Like to lie about the things that she is lying about, it's sick. So okay, so that was Johnny. I'm gonna put on the video of Johnny's cross right now. So we can watch that together. Oh, okay. And then, oh no, sorry guys. I'm like messing up here big time. Okay. So let me, Nikki, I will take your comment off the screen now. All right. So let me share. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to watch the cross examination of Johnny during this. So this, again, remember, this is the second time that he's taken the stand. Also Amber has taken the stand as well. This is a long video. I will try to skip through as much as I possibly can. But again, this is what we're here for. We're here to watch the full trial, you know, the full testimonies. So here we go. Let's see how this goes. All right, I'm going to skip through some of this because clearly...
Left a black eye, correct?
Oh, let me go back a little bit here. And again, guys, so while I do this, there is a link that is pinned in the chat. You can click
Mr.
it.
Depp, I'd like
and
to
you can
start
come on
with
screen
the
and we can
honeymoon that you
discuss
and Ms. Heard
this
took in
case. I would love to
late
do that
July
with some of you
2015.
guys.
Sure.
So if there's enough of you that do
You
click the
testify
link
that you
and come on
took
the
a train
screen,
ride from Bangkok to
I
Singapore, is
will,
that right?
pause the
correct.
videos
And you
for a
claim
bit,
that
and we
on
can
this
just have a
train ride that
discussion,
Ms.
and you
Heard
just let me know what you guys
hit you in the
think.
face,
Nikki,
correct?
if you're willing to come up, I would love
yes.
to have you
And
up
left
here.
a black eye, correct?
You don't have to,
Yes.
have your face. You can have
And
an avatar.
Michelle,
like
could you
this,
please pull up
like I
PX
have.
162?
Yeah. So that's that.
Is that already in evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Published to the jury?
Thank you. Mr. Depp, this is the picture that your counsel showed you both in your prior, or showed.
Where has the sound gone, guys? What the hell? Okay.
Graph itself, we would ask
There
the
we go.
comments be redacted as hearsay.
Well, I'd like to at least question the witness about the
I
comments.
have no objection to the photograph being published.
Okay, well, let's wait a minute. Mr. Depp, you see here, these are 4 pictures of you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and below it indicate that they were taken on July 24th.
Johnny hates Ron Bourne.
2015
And Ron
in
Bourne hates
Bangkok,
Johnny. You
Thailand,
can tell.
correct?
Objection, lack of foundation, calls for speculation.
Overruled.
In Bangkok, Thailand, so before the train ride.
Correct, before the train ride, because you
Yeah.
didn't get on the train ride till the 25th, is that right?
I somewhere in that area, I guess.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd ask for permission to publish this to the jury.
All right.
If it's just the photographs, we have no
All
objection.
right. You want to redact the, just have the photographs in it?
Sure. We'll do 1905.
5, just with redaction, sure it'll be fine. I think there's still some on the bottom. I'm not sure.
It's just redact though. Yeah.
I just want to give Turtle a shout out. Hey, Turtle, welcome back. Again, there is a link that is pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to join me up here, I would love, if we can get a few of you guys up here, I would love to have a discussion about this case and see what all of you guys think. So yeah. Let me see if I can fast forward through some of this because we don't want to be here for.
That's the
Okay. There's so many.
when you get a side
photos
light,
and
you
stuff
see
like
the
that in this
occipital
case. It's
bone.
crazy.
So that is the exact area.
Yep. And it's actually,
A side light will cause that.
yeah, well,
as
the
well.
picture's not being taken from the side, is it? It's being taken head on, isn't it?
No. The lens in front.
Yeah.
The light on the side.
Right.
Will cause that occipital bone, I believe it's called,
Mhm.
to appear sunken. And-
Just like lights on the side of a train car, correct?
Objection
Well,
calls for speculation.
You can take that down, Michelle.
that was in fact in the dark. I had a chef,
Sustain.
I had people on either side of me, so
If you could
I
wait for the
don't
next-
see where the light fill is from the side there.
Mr. Jeff, if you could wait for the next question, next question.
Next question.
Sorry.
It's like, Mr.
Even the
Depp, can
picture
you wait
your
for the next
team chose
question?
to show you
Come on.
on that train
Freaking
isn't
rotten morning.
accurate, is
So
it?
annoying.
Let's pull up
Objection
exhibit.
calls for
Let's
speculation.
pull up exhibit 1859, please.
I was literally just gonna say, like, when is Johnny's team gonna object?
1859. Is that in evidence? or-
No, Your Honor.
Look at Johnny. He's like, I'm so over you, dude.
Mr. Depp, this is the same picture, or the same, exact same scene displayed in PX 162 that you looked at this morning, correct?
That looks like my face has been, the eyes have been photoshopped.
No, okay. So this post from the Eastern and Oriental Express's Facebook page, you're saying that that's
Hello,
Photoshop?
everyone. Welcome. There's a link at the top of the chat.
Is that from their page? I would, sure, why wouldn't they?
Let's pull them up side by side, please. Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of this exhibit. We can just have the pictures. We don't need the.
Any objection to the picture?
Objection, lack of foundation, lack of authentication.
Is that you in the photo, Mr. Depp?
It is me, but it's clearly.
Show me the
Your Honor,
metadata.
I'd move to strike anything after that, first of all.
Oh my
God. Would ask for admission of this photograph.
All right, just the photograph?
Yep.
You're gonna,
We maintain our lack of authentication, lack of foundation.
all right, over objection, I'll allow 1859 and
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle, could I please get you to,
you need to redact it first.
we actually have one, that will admit or ask to be admitted as 1858. That is just the picture.
I already have 18.
Okay, so we'll call this 1859 then.
So this is 1859.
Yeah, we just need to,
Okay.
we'll fix that exhibit sticker on the bottom and.
Hello,
give
anyone
you
that's
that.
new, welcome. Join the
1859.
chat.
1859.
We're watching, obviously, the Johnny Depp versus
And
Amber
Michelle,
Heard
what I'd
trial.
like to ask you to do, please,
And
is
there's
to
also a
put
link pinned to the
the
top if you want to
picture
join me on screen
displayed
for
as
a discussion. I know I'm
1859.
saying it, I'm sorry.
Just was admitted into evidence next to PX 162 that was shown to Mr. Depp this morning.
Okay, you can pop those, they're both in evidence.
Can you try to make them the same size, please? This is the exact same picture, isn't it, Mr. Depp?
With radically different quality. And
No, you answered my question.
how
Permission
do
to
you know I
publish.
wasn't done?
You answered my question, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Oh my God. The snarkiness, I love it.
Mr. Depp, you had that, whatever mark it is,
Oh,
whether it's a
dear.
sunburn, whether it's a shadow, whether it's the light reflecting, you had that same mark on your eye before you got on that train.
Well, it's pretty difficult to get a sunburn on a train. And in
Let's
the
go to-
photographs with the child, I don't look particularly sunburned. Can we see those again?
Let's pull up exhibit one. Actually, no, let's talk about Australia for a little bit.
Oh, good.
You testified that you've never done ecstasy more than a handful of times in your life,
He
correct?
goes, oh, good. I love it.
6, 7 times.
Now, you heard Ms. Heard's testimony. You've been sitting here. I know you didn't look at her, but you heard her testimony. And
Oh, I
you heard her. You didn't hear her
I know
say
you don't won't
ingest
look
8 to
at her.
10
Like,
all at once.
Ron
She
Bourne,
said she
calm
came
down.
down after being apart from you for some time, and there were 8 to 10 gone from the bag. Correct?
Objection, form, compound.
Oh, overruled.
I also heard Ms. Heard say I reached into a bag and poured a bunch of
Yep,
MDMA down my mouth.
correct.
Um,
That's right. She didn't say you poured
handfuls.
10 at one time, did
No,
she?
she said a handful,
Okay.
which is more than 10, I believe.
Okay, the fact is, Mr. Depp,
How
you
do
were
we know what a
asking for
handful is?
ecstasy.
Like,
You
what
who have
is the
only done
meaning
it
of a handful?
6 times in
Is
your
it
life.
10?
You were
Is it
asking
less, more?
for ecstasy and cocaine within minutes of being admitted to the hospital after suffering your finger injury, weren't you?
Objection, compound.
I don't recall that I was
Overruled.
Let's
begging
pull up,
for any drugs.
yeah, let's pull up plaintiff's or exhibit 393, please. You just said you don't recall you were begging for any drugs?
No, I
that-
don't, but I do
okay.
recall being in great pain and great distress.
You don't recall.
Okay.
You don't recall
I could've
begging for
asked
any
for a
drugs.
teddy
Give me a
bear
break,
as well.
Ron
Okay.
Bourne. What?
So this has been admitted, Your Honor.
This is in
Line of
evidence, okay?
questioning is
Published.
ridiculous, in my opinion.
And if you can blow up the text, please, Michelle. In this text message, Mr. Depp, you were, after you suffered your finger injury, you just testified you don't recall asking for any drugs. You're texting.
Welcome
Nathan
to anybody
Holmes,
that is
your personal
new.
assistant, Need
Welcome.
more
There
whitey
is a
stuff
link pinned
ASAP,
to the
brother
top of
man,
the
and the
chat
e-business.
where you
Now,
can join
we
me
went
on
over
screen.
this
I would love for
in your
some of you guys to come
cross-examination,
up and
didn't
we
we?
can have a discussion about
If
this
you
If you
trial.
say so, sir.
And
So,
you
yeah,
and whitey
you're
stuff
welcome.
is
Please
cocaine,
hit the subscribe button
I would
and
say.
the like
and
button
the
down below.
e-business is ecstasy. You already
Yeah,
testified.
quite likely, yes.
Okay.
So I
Take that.
didn't recall that.
Thank you.
But
Can you pull up exhibit 1817, please? This is a picture that you were shown this morning, Mr. Depp,
yes,
and you kind of made some illustrations on the picture and gave your account of what you see here. Mr. Depp, you testified previously that the vodka bottle that you allege cut off your finger was a handle of vodka, correct?
Hello to anybody that is new that has just come into the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, and also there is a pinned comment in the chat. There is a link there if you would like to join me on screen so we can have a discussion about this case. I would love to do that. I know I keep saying that for anybody that's been in here for a while, but I would love for a couple of you guys, a few of you guys to come up and we can just talk about it. So anyway, let's continue with watching the cross.
Yes.
You've already testified
The
to that,
second
correct?
bottle, there was a handle on that bottle,
Right.
yes.
This bottle,
Oh,
whatever
Amber's
it is, to
whispering
the extent it's
something.
glass at all, that's in the corner of this room, that's not a handle of vodka.
Objection calls for speculation.
I think you'll find that I said two.
Oh, Amber's
bottles.
laughing.
Mhm.
Great time.
Well, actually, what you
great
testified to
times.
this morning, Mr. Depp, was that the bottle in the corner was the handle. And there is no other bottle in the picture, is there?
No, that's not what I testified. I testified that, may I touch the screen?
Yes.
This is glass. This is glass.
Yep. And that's not a handle. Neither of those are handles of vodka.
It's that big, it's broken. The handle's up the top on those vodka bottles, sir.
Yeah.
I mean,
And none, if you combine all that glass on the floor, that doesn't make up the amount of glass in a handle of vodka, does it?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm not a,
When there's objection, hold on. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
There is no picture of a handle of vodka broken on that floor.
Oh my
Is there, Mr.
God.
Depp?
Objection. Hello, welcome to anybody that is new.
No,
Click
I
the
don't
link
see
that is
it.
pinned
I
to
see
the top of the
glass
chat
under
and
this
join me
chair
on
here.
screen so we can
Well,
discuss this case.
You testified this morning that you did see
Welcome,
it, so it's good to
welcome,
get that
welcome.
clarification. Let's move
No, I
on.
didn't
Hello,
see it,
everyone.
so
Welcome.
You also
Welcome to anybody
testified
that
this
is
morning
new.
that
Please smash that like button down below.
Yeah, and I
Hit
want to get this. I
subscribe
want
and
to
join
make
me
sure
on
that
screen
we're on the
by
same page
clicking the
here.
link that
You
is pinned to the
testified
top of the
earlier
chat.
this morning that there was no phone in the bar area downstairs. Is that what you testified to?
I don't recall a phone in the bar area.
Okay.
I don't recall a Bakelite phone in the bar area where I.
Okay.
No.
Let's pull up, Michelle, please, the UK day 3, page 421. Mr. Depp, we've done this drill before. This is your testimony from the UK, correct?
Yeah, we have done
Can I
this
please
before.
It's,
Okay, rotten
we
born.
don't have copies for everyone. It's on the screen.
Your
right
Honor,
there.
may I please, I would like to have he's the testimony of the
Here,
witness.
you can have my copy.
Oh my God, rotten born. Here, you can have my copy. What is the
Mr. Depp, you
problem?
remember giving testimony in the UK trial for several days, correct?
Okay, so, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep.
So I do remember a telephone in the bar area and this
Yeah, well,
telephone I picked up was made of Bakelite.
This is my turn to do this, Mr. Depp.
I'm sorry.
On page 421, line 19, you were asked a question, and this telephone that you picked up was made of, I'm sorry, I'm going to go up on line 15.
Oh my God, rotten born.
Question, at one stage when you were in the kitchen screaming at Miss Heard, you picked up a wall-mounted telephone. Do you remember a telephone in the kitchen? Answer, no ma'am, I remember a telephone in the bar area. Question, and this telephone that you picked up was made of
I'll be
Bakelite.
right back,
Do
guys.
you know what I mean by that? A retro telephone, wall-mounted but retro. Answer, it was a wall-mounted telephone, but it was not Bakelite. It was a modern phone. It was plastic. Question, a phone that was a wall-mounted phone that was picked up, can you scroll down, please? Question, a phone that was a wall-mounted phone that was picked up by you, held in your right hand, and you were repeatedly smashing it against the wall in your right hand. Answer, that is possible. But I do not, if that is the case, I do not believe I spent very much time on the phone. I remember ripping the phone off the wall. That was your testimony, correct?
It seemed to be yes.
Thank you.
I,
Answer my question. Thank you. Mr. Depp, you've claimed before, you've said, if I'm angry and I've got to lash out or hit somebody, I'm going to do it. And I don't care what the repercussions are. Anger doesn't pay rent. It's got to go. It's got to be evicted. You've said that before, haven't you?
have you a quote from me somewhere saying that?
It's my question to you. You've said that before, haven't you? Well, actually, let's refresh your recollection. Can you pull up
Be great.
the Ghost Machine article, please?
Possibly about paparazzis.
Mr. Depp, you see the picture of you on the lower left.
Yes.
Appears to be shirtless and wearing a crown, I believe. You see the long paragraph above that?
Okay,
It starts with,
Rottenborn. Like,
in the Mark Hotel.
What?
Yes,
You see
yes,
that?
yes, I
At
do.
the bottom of that, does this refresh your recollection that you said, I have a lot of love inside me and a lot of anger inside me as well. If I love somebody, then I'm going to love them. If I'm angry and I've got to lash out or hit somebody, I'm going to do it. And I don't care what the repercussions are. Anger doesn't pay rent. It's got to go. It's got to be evicted. Did I read that right?
yeah, you read it right.
You did read that right, yes.
Thank you. You can take that down, Michelle, please. Now, Mr. Depp, you've also claimed that you've said before that if you want to be with a woman sexually, that she is rightfully yours, haven't you?
Could you repeat that?
And you've also said
Oh
that
my
Could you
God.
repeat that, please?
yeah, that if you want to be with a woman sexually, that she is rightfully yours.
That's ludicrous.
You've also said
That's
that with respect to
ludicrous. It is
women that you want
ludicrous.
to be with, you've remarked, I need, I want, I take, haven't you?
Equally as ludicrous, no.
Yep,
Can you pull up
ludicrous.
DX883, please?
You can pull it what you like. I've never said those words.
This is crazy.
There's not enough hubris in
Johnny.
me to say anything like that.
883?
883, Your Honor.
It's not,
DX
is it
It
empty?
is not admitted yet.
Okay, 883.
Mr. Depp, these are text messages from you to Stephen Deuters on February 22nd, 2017, correct?
This looks nothing like me. You might have mistaken.
Mr. Depp,
Good for
we can show
Johnny.
the full unredacted. You've looked at a number of text messages in this case, and the words him as the identifier, that's you, correct? In every text message we've seen in this case.
Yeah, sure. It still doesn't mean it hasn't. been
Sure.
true,
Show
but
us the metadata.
That's not anything that I've ever said or written.
You want to see the whole thing unredacted? We can look at that too.
No, because you could have typed it up last night. No.
I can assure you I didn't type it up last night, Mr. Depp. Your Honor, I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 883.
All right, any objection?
Objection on relevance grounds, Your Honor.
All right, Marla, do you want to approach for a moment? Let's take a look.
Welcome to anybody that's new. Join the chat. And also, there is a pinned comment. You can click the link and join me on screen so we can have a discussion about this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. They're approaching now, so we have some silent time. I will be right back, guys. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back.
All right, 883 in evidence as redacted.
Thank you. Mr. Depp, you're aware that these are text messages. You can see the bottom right where it says Depp and then it has a number, 8129. Those are produced by you in this litigation. You understand that, right?
I understand that, sir.
Okay. All right, Michelle, could you please, let's take a look at the top text first. Mr. Depp, on February 22nd, 2017, you texted Mr. Deuters, right, exactly. Molly's pussy is rightfully mine. should I not just bust in and remove its hinges tonight? Did I read that right?
You read it right.
And the one
Okay, I'm
beneath
back.
that, you say, I want to change her understanding of what it is like to be thrashed about like a pleading mackerel. And then in all caps, you write, I need, I want, I take. Is that right?
You read it right.
You read it
I
right.
that.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Perhaps someone else.
You wrote
had
every
my
other
phone.
text that you produced that came from you in this litigation, didn't you?
Not necessarily. Sometimes you give your phone to people and they
Now,
text
when you
from
got
it.
off that plane
Excuse me?
from Boston,
That's right.
when you got off the plane from Boston, you knew Miss Heard was angry.
Excuse me.
Didn't you?
It was pretty much a given.
Objection, calls for speculation.
And you understood her to be angry, right?
She was always angry, yes.
And you asked Mr. Duders, same person, you can.
She was
take this down,
always
Michelle,
angry.
please. Thank you.
I love that.
Same person that you texted in that last exhibit. You asked Mr. Duders to communicate with her on your behalf, correct?
I don't know what you're talking about. You'll have to explain.
You asked Mr. Duders to communicate with Miss Heard by text to speak to her about the incident.
Hello
correct?
and welcome to anybody new that is
About
watching.
what incident?
We're obviously
To speak
watching
to her about
Johnny
the plane
Depp and
flight.
Amber Heard trial
The
this
plane
last
plane?
week.
The Boston plane.
Testimony from that. If you would like to
Boston
join
plane.
me on screen, there is a pinned comment in
So
the
you're saying
chat.
that I
Click the link and you can join me on
Uh,
screen. We can have a discussion about this and you can tell me what you think about the
influenced
trial
Mr.
and
Duders. I
what the
told
verdict
him
might
that
be
he
or when it might come
had
out.
to
So,
write this, and I had told him that he had to write that. Is that what you?
No. It wasn't uncommon for Mr. Duders to text to communicate with Miss Heard on your behalf, correct?
Objection, calls for speculation.
He was your personal assistant. Mr. Duders was your personal assistant, correct?
I had two personal assistants
Right.
at the time.
He was one of them, right?
Yeah, Mr. Duders was one of them. Yes, sir.
Right. And it wasn't uncommon for you to ask Mr. Duders to communicate with Miss Heard on your behalf, correct?
It wasn't uncommon for any of them to communicate with Miss Heard on my behalf if I were on set or unavailable or any of that.
Or if Miss Heard and you had a fight, you would sometimes have them communicate with Miss Heard on your behalf, correct?
I think my crew caught on very quickly that
Just a yes or no,
would be
Mr. Depp.
Just a yes or
necessary for
no.
them to.
No, just a yes or no.
Rotten
It was
Born,
not
calm down.
uncommon after
Objection,
you and Miss
Your
Heard
Honor.
had.
I'd ask that he be allowed to finish his answer.
Yes.
Johnny's like, I can't.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Wasn't uncommon for you to have one of your personal assistants communicate with Miss Heard after you and her had a fight.
I disagree because you're insinuating that I had them do it, and you don't know that.
After the Boston plane flight, you had Mr. Duders communicate with Miss Heard, correct?
When I'm asked what to do, I said placate her, just placate her like we always do.
And you told him, send her whatever message you need to send to
I'm
placate her,
sorry, he's
correct?
sorry, he feels bad, yes, because any other answer, it would turn into World War III.
Okay. Can you pull up Exhibit 229, please?
Oh my God. I do like how Johnny is definitely answering Rotten
Your Honor,
Born more
I think
directly
you know where
this
I'm going here,
time.
and based on Mr. Depp's testimony, I'd ask move for the admission of Exhibit 229.
Your Honor, can we please approach?
Sure.
And they are approaching again. So that means what? We have courtroom silence, as I call it. So anybody that is new, that has joined, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button down below. Please smash that like button. Also, if you would like to join me on screen, there is a pinned comment at the top of the chat. You can click the link. It's for StreamYard. It's very easy. And you can join me on screen. We can have a chat and we can talk about
Mr.
what we
Depp,
all think about this case. All right, they're back.
You were pretty angry after Miss Heard got her temporary restraining order, weren't you?
Angry. I was, more than anything, I was hurt.
And you testified earlier this morning, you claimed that you somehow were responsible for her getting the role with Warner Brothers, correct? That's what you testified to this morning. You also tried to get her fired from Aquaman, didn't you? After the temporary restraining order.
Which question would you like me to handle first, sir?
One question, sir. You tried to get her fired from the Aquaman after the temporary restraining order, didn't you?
Well, what is related to the story about me getting
It just,
her-
yes or no, Mr. Depp. I
Sir,
didn't ask
life does
what
not come
related,
down to
what
yes or
story
no at all
related to.
times. I can't please you with a yes or a no every single time.
It's a yes or no question, Mr. Depp. You tried to get Ms. Heard fired, didn't you?
Answer's no.
All right, let's pull up Exhibit 821.
Is that
Mr.
me
Depp,
trying to
is
get her
this-
fired?
This is a text message that you had with your sister, Christy Dombrowski. She was the first witness in this case, right?
She doesn't work at Warner Brothers.
She-
You can't fire Amber.
This is a text message you had with her on June 4th, 2016, isn't it?
June 12th, yes.
Your Honor, move for the admission of Exhibit 821 as redacted.
Any objection?
We would object on relevance grounds, Your Honor.
I'll overrule that objection, 821 in evidence.
Oh, overrule that objection.
And on June 4th, 2016, Mr. Depp, you texted your sister, I want her replaced on that W film. Did I read that right?
You did.
Her is referring to Amber, right?
That's correct.
And WB is Warner Brothers, correct?
Again, correct.
And then after you sent this text to your sister, following the temporary restraining order, you reached out to Guy Silverstein to have him fire Amber, correct?
Who?
It's Greg Silverstein, I'm sorry.
I don't recall reaching out to Greg Silverstein.
You reach out to Sue Kroll to get him to
Particularly.
fire Miss Heard, right?
I had vetted Miss Heard.
I
I had vetted Miss Heard.
Mr. Depp, you got your chance to
Warner
speak this morning.
Brothers
Your Honor,
Warner
ask-
Brothers
Alright.
had two franchises.
Mr. Depp, if you could just answer the question, sir. All right, next question.
You reached out to Greg Silverstein to get him.
Oh, yeah.
to try to
Johnny's not
get
here to
Amber
play.
fired from Aquaman, didn't you?
It's not like last time. He's definitely ready to
Hasn't
answer
answered.
questions and talk.
Excuse me?
Asked and answered.
It's a yes or no question that he hasn't answered, yes or no.
All right.
Yes or no, sir? You reached out to Greg Silverstein to try to get Amber fired from Aquaman.
Second half of your question is wrong, sir.
You
I
reached out to Sue
them
Kroll.
because I vetted her.
No, Mr. Depp. You reached out to Sue
What
Kroll
you
to
like,
get
I
her
don't care.
to try to get her to help you get Amber fired from Aquaman, didn't you?
No.
And you reached out to Kevin Sujihara to try to get him to help you get Amber fired from Aquaman, didn't you?
No.
Can you pull up Exhibit 8?
Johnny's like, no. Look at Amber. Again, this is why I like the Law and Crime YouTube channel videos, because they put the angles together on the screen. Whereas the other places that stream the trial.
Mr. Depp, this
don't
is
do
a
that.
text message that you sent to Christian Carino on August 15th, 2016, correct?
This is already in evidence, correct? Or is it 857?
Parts of it are,
Oh, so not this.
not this
Well,
version.
this can't be 857, then don't.
850, sorry.
Mr. Umber, you can't do this to me.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Understood. We'll call it 857A.
857. Okay.
The judge is so over this case. You can
My
tell
apologies,
she's
Your Honor.
done. Like, she's great. She's been great.
Mr.
throughout
Depp, you
whole
sent
thing,
this
but
text
she's
to Christian
done.
Carino on it,
And I'm sure the
August
jurors are
15th.
too.
I most certainly did.
Okay. And in this text that you sent to Christian, Christian Carino is the person who used to be Amber's agent and then was your agent for a time, correct?
That is correct.
And in this text, Your Honor, permission to publish, please.
Do you want to put it in evidence
Yeah.
first?
Move for admission of
Any
857A.
objection?
No objection.
All right, 857A, as redacted, will be in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. And in this text, Mr. Depp, you said, she's begging for total global humiliation. She's going to get it. I'm going to need your texts about San Francisco, brother. I'm even sorry to ask, but she sucked Mollusk's crooked dick and he gave her some shitty lawyers. I have no mercy, no fear, and not an ounce of emotion, or what I once thought was love for this
God.
gold-digging,
Ron Bourne's gonna
low-level,
read the whole
dime a
thing.
dozen, mushy, pointless, dangling, overused, flappy fish market. I'm so fucking happy she wants to go to fight this out. She will hit the wall hard, and I cannot wait to have this waste of a cum guzzler out of my life. I met a fucking sublime little Russian here, which made me realize the time I blew on that 50-cent stripper. I wouldn't touch her with a goddamn glove. I can only hope that karma kicks in and takes the gift of breath from her. Sorry, man, but now I will stop at nothing. Let's see if Mollusk has a pair. Come see me face to face. I'll show him things he's never seen before, like the other side of his dick when I slice it off. Did I read that right?
You did.
Now, not long after this, you can take that down, Michelle, thank you. Not long after this, you met Mr. Waldman in the late summer or fall of 2016, correct?
I believe, yeah, September, October, somewhere in there, whatever.
And he's been your attorney since then, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you met with him with the Daily Mail in London in February 2020, didn't you?
I'm sorry, again?
You and Mr. Waldman together met with the Daily Mail in London in February 2020, didn't you?
Oh, look at Amber. Okay.
Are you asking
Oh.
me a question?
We're all tired too,
about
honey.
my attorney and I?
Yeah, that you two met with people from the Daily Mail in London in February 2020.
Was that during the London trial?
No,
No?
in February.
I don't recall it, though.
Okay.
I don't.
To the extent Mr. Waldman testified that you did, you don't dispute that, correct?
I just don't recall it.
Okay. You don't disagree with Mr. Waldman's testimony that you and he met with people from the Daily Mail in London in February 2020, correct?
If that's Mr. Waldman's testimony, then.
Okay.
But I just didn't necessarily know who these people were.
Right.
I guess.
The same month that the Daily Mail released alleged tapes between you and Amber.
Objection
Correct.
calls for speculation, lack of
Alleged-
personal knowledge.
Alleged.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Now, Mr. Depp, you testified, and I wrote it down before lunch. You said, when Ms. Myers asked you
Oh,
something
he wrote it
about,
down before
how does
lunch.
it feel to make you, or how does it feel to be here? You said, I've been living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to get the truth out. Remember saying that?
Yes.
You also said, I've spoken up for what I've been carrying on my back. Something to that effect. You remember saying that?
Yes.
And you've claimed several times in this proceeding, Mr. Depp, that this trial is your first chance to tell your story, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
But that's just not true, is it, Mr. Depp? That's not true.
No, for me it is true.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The fact is, Mr. Depp, when Dan Wooten wrote an article that was published in The Sun calling you a wife beater,
Mhm.
you brought a lawsuit against The Sun in June of 2018, correct?
Yes, I probably
And that was 6 months before Miss Heard ever wrote her op-ed.
What the
Correct.
hell?
I don't know.
And in the summer of 2020, there was a several-week trial in London against The Sun, correct?
Ms. Heard was not a party to that trial.
Not my question, Mr. Depp. In the article that The Sun wrote that you sued over, you sued for Mr. Wooten calling you a wife beater, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustain. Next question.
And in the trial that you subsequently brought, you called a lot of witnesses, right?
I don't know what a lot is. I don't know.
Many people testified on both sides of the trial, correct?
Yes, many people.
And many exhibits were introduced, correct?
Like a trial, yes.
And you, just like in this trial, you were on the stand for several days in that trial, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And that trial involved the same factual issues that you are litigating here, which is whether you
Objection
committed
calls
domestic
for
abuse
illegal-
against Amber Heard.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
You brought that case against the Sun because you were angry at the Sun for calling you a wife beater, correct?
Yeah, that's
And you
Probably a pretty good reason.
And you went through that trial in London, correct?
I did indeed, yes.
Mr. Depp, you've already had a chance to tell your story, haven't you?
No, there
Objection
were
has been
great
answered.
limitations in the UK trial.
Overruled. Okay.
No further questions.
All right, redirect. Thank you.
Mr. Depp, Mr. Rottenborn asked you some questions about the UK trial. Why do you feel that this is the first time that you've actually had an opportunity to tell your story and, as you said, get the load off your back?
As the UK trial was me suing Dan Wooten and the Sun for defamation. For
Ron Warren, I don't know if I like that
a wife beater.
cross.
The UK have.
I don't know how I feel about that cross.
Laws. There are different ways they handle things.
I don't think I like it.
There are also limitations in evidence. Some things can be brought up, some things cannot be
Your Honor,
brought up.
he said it calls
Mr.
for a legal
Rottenborn.
conclusion. He's talking about
Oh my God, he's going to
limitations in
object to
evidence in
everything.
English.
Your Honor, he's talking about his experience testifying.
Overruled.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
Yes,
Oh
there
my
is
God,
a
Johnny
very,
is everything.
everything is quite boxed in with regard to what can be said, what can be spoken about. So, Ms. Heard provided information to the Sun as their star witness, but the case was not brought against Ms. Heard. It was brought against the Sun newspaper, journal, whatever it is.
Mr. Rottenborn referenced that you were on the stand for multiple days.
4.5, I believe, yes.
What was the nature of that examation?
Okay, he was on the
Who was
stand, yeah,
conducting that
and
examination of you?
I don't know why Rottenborn is making the UK trial, so
QC Sasha Was,
And whose attorney was that?
the Sun's.
Can we please pull up DX 857A?
All right, it's already in evidence. So you can publish it.
Mr. Depp, do you recall seeing this text message when Mr. Rottenborn was questioning you?
Oh, yes, I do.
Can you explain what you're conveying to Mr. Carino in this text message?
I'm in total shock that this is happening to me, that my entire life on the planet has been brought to the head of a pin with all this completely, utterly false information. So I am, when you're accused of horrific acts and things that you have not done, when it's actually some very ugly things that are going out there into the world about you on a nonstop basis by Ms. Heard and her team, you have a tendency as humans to get very, very irate and angry, not to the point where you go out and hurt someone, not to the point even where you assault a cabinet. But you do get irate. You do wonder why this person is doing this to me. So many things go through your head. And then you've got your family, you've got your kids, you've got your parent. My mom, thankfully, didn't get to read any of this because that would have killed her. But my father, my family, everyone that I've met, the people that have supported me, suddenly I'm scum. Why? Never had to happen. One little lie. So yes,
One little lie.
very angry.
Wow.
Could we please pull
Look
up
at Amber.
Defendant's Exhibit
Oh my
821?
God.
Mr. Depp, do you recall seeing this text message when Mr. Ottenborn was asking you questions?
Yes, he loves this one, yes.
Yes. Would you care to explain
He loves
what you're
this one,
trying to
yes.
convey in this text message?
Well, Warner Brothers was about to find, they were about to find themselves in quite a dilemma as the person that they had just cast.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation as to what Warner Brothers knew or thought.
Didn't I meet with them?
All right.
Didn't I
You can
meet
just
with them?
wait, for the question. I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Mr. Depp, without explaining what Warner Brothers felt, why did you send this text message to your sister? And what were, excuse me, strike that. What were you trying to convey to your sister when you sent this text message?
Honestly, I felt responsibility for having gone to those people and you know, painted such a beautiful picture.
Objection. Hearsay, Your Honor. Now he's talking about what he said to Warner Brothers.
Overruled.
Please continue.
You change seats.
So, sorry, you can continue.
I felt it was my responsibility to get the truth to Warner Brothers about what they were going to end up facing down the line, which is 2 franchises that would be causing problems for one another, especially as any news, any press, any media that came out about me at that time had been turned into, you know, I was Charles Manson, you know, I was the worst thing on earth, and they just kept coming. It was like a nonstop fire. So my responsibility, after having painted a beautiful picture of her for them, was to tell them, I think you better.
Objection, Your Honor. He's getting into what he claims he told Warner Brothers or wanted to.
He's saying what he wanted to tell them. He's not saying what he actually told them.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Mr. Depp, you mentioned 2 franchise films with Warner Brothers. What 2 franchise films are you referring to?
There was Aquaman and Fantastic Beasts, the one that I was in.
And why did you feel a responsibility with respect to those 2 franchise films?
Warner Brothers was starting to get quite upset about some of the things that were being said about me in the press that were constant.
Look at Amber, like, oh, with her notes.
You know, on one level, yes, it's just acting, it's just movies, but it's business and it's your word. And I had given my word to them, and I felt responsible that I had to tell them exactly what was going on, and that it was going to end up ugly.
And which of those 2 film franchises were you a part of?
I'm sorry?
Which of those 2 film franchises were you a part of?
I was in a Fantastic
Amber snickering, smiling.
And Where to Find Them.
Okay,
And
Amber,
I was in
shut up.
the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Could we please pull up DX 883?
Sorry if you guys can't see me as clearly as before. My light decided to give
No.
out for some reason.
Mr. Depp,
so
do you
I'll have
recall
to get
seeing
that
these
fixed.
text messages
Before we do the next
during Mr.
live.
Ronborn's examination?
Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button, please.
Oh, God, yeah. Yes, I remember.
And you didn't seem to recall
Click the
these
link
text messages.
that
that
is pinned to the top of the chat if you would like to
It
join me
truly
on
is.
screen and talk about this case.
Fair.
I
It's,
would
mean,
love
it's
to have a
not,
discussion with some of you guys.
Do you have
He
any?
knows. I don't know who Molly is. I don't know nothing about this.
Do you have any understanding of what you're referring to in this text message? Or these two text messages?
No. I honestly, if somebody else had borrowed my phone or something and made this text to Stephen, possibly. But I don't understand the. I don't have that kind of. I don't have that kind of hubris or.
Again, why I love the Law and Crime YouTube channel videos.
Grotesque.
Because look at Amber.
Can we take that down, please?
Wow.
Can we please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1821? Mr. Depp, do you recognize this document?
That is behind the bar, yes.
Okay. And do you see Mr. Ronborn asked you some questions
More
about whether there was a
pictures.
telephone.
Yes.
This
and
case has
in
so
Australia.
many pictures
I see
and
a
texts
telephone there
and
now.
stuff.
It's
It's crazy.
And did you recall that telephone being there?
I don't recall the telephone being there, but I can see it now.
Can we please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 1820? Do you recall me showing you this text message earlier on? Or excuse me, do you recall
Yes,
me
of
showing you
course.
this picture
Yes.
during your examination?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And I think I asked you whether you recall a phone being mounted on the wall in the left of this picture. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And what was your answer to that?
no.
Mr. Depp, Mr. Rottenborn asked you some questions about your honeymoon. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And I believe you had testified that you and Miss Heard were on the Orient Express together.
that's correct, yes.
Where had you been prior to being on the Orient Express?
We had been in Australia. And then made it over to Thailand to catch the Orient Express.
If we could bring up the Plaintiff's Exhibit 162 again.
Sorry that I'm playing with my mic so much. Again, look at
Mr.
Amber.
Depp, do you know who
This is
took
why I
this
love
picture?
the multiple
Malcolm
angles.
Connolly.
Oh my God, the same picture again.
And despite what Mr. Rottenborn showed you about the picture of you prior to this, do you see a bruise on your face in this picture?
I see like what looks like a pretty decent shiner and a kind of a scratched up nose, yes.
And do you recall how you got the scratches and the shiner?
There was a very brief freak out that Miss Heard had in our cabin just before this dinner. I can't remember why, but there were many. I remember taking the photograph, though. I mean, I remember being there. I remember meeting the chef and all. But I mean, the quality of the photo is not great. The quality of the other photo that he showed us has been prettied up.
Mr. Depp, did you ever physically abuse Miss Heard during your relationship?
Never. Never.
No further questions.
All right, sir, you can have a seat next to your attorneys. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your next
Wow. Okay,
witness-
that's it. All right. So that was Johnny. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna do, I was gonna do Amber's, but we've been going for almost 2 hours right now. So let's take a little bit of a break. We're gonna end it here. Again, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. Smash that like button. It really helps. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna take a little break. I'll probably be back in about, I would say, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we'll do Amber's testimony, cross and all that stuff and her side of things. So, all right, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. Thanks.